Alright class, I am going to show you how to do worksheet 2.3, how to multiply radicals, okay? So we are going to do some review first, okay? And let's do number 3, alright? So again, this is worksheet 2.3, how to multiply radicals, but this is just simplifying. So again, we are going to break down this one, the 162, and I'm just going to use my calculator. 162, can I divide that by 2? Yes, and that is 2 and 81, okay? And then from there, I can just go ahead and rewrite the problem. All right, so 3, and then I have the third root of 2, and then I know that 81 is 9 times 9, and 9 is 3 times 3. Okay, so I need to write all of these numbers under the radical root, okay, all these highlighted numbers. Okay, so we have a 2, and I have a 3, and a 3, and a 3, and another 3, so 9 times 9. And then n to the 8, you can write down n 8 times, or because you know that you are working with the third root, you can just write n to the third, that's 3, n to the third, that's 6, so you have 2 left. N to the second. Notice when you add all the powers, they add up to 8. Okay, so n to the third, n to the third, and n to the second. All right, so that's the same thing as n times n times n 3 times. Okay, so you know there's a group of 3 right here. Okay, there's a group of 3 here. Okay. All right, or if you want to, again, just write all the 8 n's. Okay. All right, so we're looking for the third root. We're looking for 3 of a kind. So I see one group right here. I see one group here and one group there. All right, so I'm going to take one of those factors out, okay? So on the outside, I have a 3 already. Then I'm going to take another 3 for this group. And I'm going to take one n for that group and another n for this group, okay? And then I'm going to have my third root, don't forget to write the U index, and then 2 times 3 is 6, and then n squared left inside the third root, okay? The last step is to multiply the outside numbers or expressions. So here you have 9n squared, and then you have the third root of 6n squared. Okay, that's your answer. Check the back of the book, make it but the bottom page, and make sure that that's the answer that you should have. All right, so that was a review problem. Another review problem is something like this one. How do you add or subtract radicals? Remember, we look at the radicand, and here the radicands are 45 and 5, and we notice that they are not the same. So currently, we cannot add them, okay? But 45, you can break it down and simplify the first term and see if maybe you do have like terms, all right? So we break down the 45, and that is 9 times 5. So 9 times 5, 9 is actually 3 times 3, and there's a 5. Okay, and here I'm going to look for 2 of a kind, so I can take that 3 out. So negative 3 radical 5 minus a radical 5, and now you will see that you have the same radicand, so you can go ahead and add negative 3 and negative 1, and that gives you a negative 4, and write down your radical term behind that. Okay, so hopefully you check the answer, and that's the answer. All right, move on to today's work. Okay, how do you multiply radicals? Okay, when you multiply radicals, the easiest way for me to explain to you is you multiply the outside numbers together, the coefficients, and then you multiply the inside numbers together, your radicand, multiply them together, and then you simplify as in worksheet number 1. All right, so here outside numbers are 1 and 1. Okay, 1 times 1 is 1. You can write it if you want, you don't have to. Inside the radical, you have the radicand 10 and radicand 8. You multiply them. Okay, so multiply outside numbers together, multiply inside numbers together, and then you simplify. Okay, so notice I did not multiply 10 and 8 because I need to break them down and simplify the problem. Okay, so 5 times 2 is 10, and 8, I think we've done enough of that, then now we know it's 2 times 2 times 2, that's 4 times 2. And we are looking at the square root, so we are going to go ahead and pair up things, okay, groups of 2's. And I can take out a 2 for this group, I can take out another 2 for that group, and I have a 5. Okay, so the answer is 4 radical 5 for number 11. Okay, so remember the key is multiply numbers, the outside numbers together, and then multiply the inside numbers together, and then simplify. All right, let's do a harder problem like number 17. Okay, so number 17, you do have coefficients other than 1. Okay, so again, same concept. Okay, multiply the outside numbers together, that's 9. Multiply the inside numbers together, that's 10 times 6. Okay, and the next step is to break down the 10, break down the 6, and see if you can take any perfect squares out. Okay, there's a pair of 2's, so take that 2 out. 2 times 9 is 18, and then 5 times 3 is 15. That's your answer to this problem. All right, and number 20. Okay, so this one you need to do two things. You need to distribute 2 times, and then you need to, again, while you are distributing, you just need to remember how to multiply radicals. So what I like to do is students find it easier if I write down the distribution first, so that way they can see the problem. They don't have to keep a lot of things mentally, okay? So I'm going to write down the distribution first. So when I distribute, I will have a radical 6, okay, times a 2 radical 6. Okay, that's the first distribution. Plus, the second distribution is a radical 6 times just a number 2 with no radical. Okay, all right, now we can do the problem. So outside numbers multiplied together, although the radical 6 doesn't have 1, it's actually a coefficient of 1. So 1 times 2 is 2. And then I have a 6 times 6. 2 of a kind, I can take that 6 out and multiply by the 2, and that is going to give me 12 for that part. Here, the coefficient is 1 here, so right here you can the 2 you can say that 2 has a radical 1. Okay, you can write that way if you want to. So you multiply the 1 and the 2, okay, these two numbers, because they are outside numbers, and so that's a 2, and then you will have radical 6 times radical 1, which is 6 times 1, and that's just a 6. All right, so your answer is 12 plus 2 radical 6. All right, so this is multiplying radicals. Again, outside numbers multiplied together, inside numbers multiplied together, and then simplify. Thank you.